Hello, everyone. Like Mike said there, I'm Kurt Raffel. I am the National Franchise and Affiliations Director for ADP. So what I do at ADP is I put together these partnerships, like we have with the PMA and some other manufacturing associations out there, healthcare associations out there. Obviously, we work with a lot of franchises. So really familiar with setting this kind of a partnership up, and I really look forward to working with all of you. So quick agenda here and what we're going to do today. What ADP does, I'll give you a quick overview of ADP. Most people kind of view us as only a payroll company. So I want to make sure that I dive into some of the other services that we offer. One of the things we want to focus on as part of this partnership are our pay cards. So a lot of people in this space are doing a lot of paper checks still. And, you know, with the demographics of the younger employees starting to work, they're getting away from the banks, they're getting away from the paper checks. So our pay cards are a fully digital option that are free for PMA members. So that's something that we can look into, just the various levels of service that we offer. And then at the end, I'll quickly go over some of the PMA partnership specifics. Quick intro about myself. Like I mentioned, Franchise and Affiliations Director. I came from GNC, where I was our Director of Franchise Operations there. So a lot of my backgrounds come from franchise, but since I've joined ADP 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I worked with a lot of associations, buying groups, like yourself. So really getting more and more familiar with how these organizations work. So I'm really excited about working with you all. Another person I want to introduce on here, it's Jackie. She is the sales rep on my team that will help me work with any of you that are interested. So I kind of manage this partnership. I'm the first person that you're going to talk to. I'm the person you're going to reach out to if you have any questions. And then ultimately, Jackie is the sales rep on our team that's going to actually submit an order if you're looking into actually switching over to ADP. So she'll work alongside me in any sales processes that we get into. So, all right, what ADP does. So basically, I'll just kind of walk you through the employee life cycle here. So we can help you with recruiting. We can help you with the applicant tracking system when you're starting to first hire your first several employees, or if you have some turnover and you're looking to hire someone. We have our own applicant tracking system. We also partner with ZipRecruiter, Snagajob, a lot of the other mobile apps out there for recruiting. So if you have one that you really like, we probably integrate with it. We have tools to help with retaining employees. We obviously do payroll and tax deductions to make sure you're fully compliant. I mentioned the pay cards earlier, and we have another slide for that. So I'll get into the pay cards a little bit more. That's just another pay option you have. Next level of service, we do HR and compliance. So we can do policy administrations. We can do HR and benefits. We can do open enrollment. We can do really anything HR related. So we can do ACA tracking. So we'll track the hours necessary for ACA. We'll fill out the forms required for that. We have time tracking software, so that integrates with our payroll. We also have several partners out there like Kronos and some of those other ones that we integrate with, that we can work with. So we can do time and attendance. We do performance and compensation reviews, analytics and benchmarking. Another thing that's really popular with your space, we do tax credits. One of the big ones is the WOTC tax credit, if you're familiar with it. That way you can get tax credits for hiring certain demographics of people. One of those would be felons, certain minorities, veterans get you a really big tax credit. And what we'll do is we'll screen those applications for you and then submit the application to the government and the IRS to get you a really big tax return. So we typically charge that on a contingency basis. That way, if you get $30,000 back from the government at the end of the year, you might owe ADP $4,000 or $5,000 or whatever it might be. It just all depends on what kind of return we get you. Then we also do 401k plans. So we'll broker those. We'll help you start a new one. And if you have ADP for payroll, we can integrate it fully with your software with us to make it no more plugging in information. You can just take a report right from ADP. I'll dive quickly into our pay cards. With our agreement, like I mentioned, they're 100% free. These are compliant in all 50 states. The reason they're compliant in all 50 states, and you can actually mandate these or direct deposit, is because with our pay card, you actually get a paper checkbook that you can give to the employees as well, and they can write themselves the check if they really want to check for whatever reason. So if you're doing 50 paper checks every 2 weeks, and that's costing you X amount of dollars to issue those, to mail those, and you want to switch to a Wisely card, you can do that for free, and then you can mandate it. So if that's something you want to talk about, we can talk about that. It's a great way to help cut costs. It's a great way to appeal to the younger generation. And with everything going on with COVID, it obviously makes a lot of sense to not have that paper option where they need to come in and pick it up and they're exchanging things like that. So having that digital option is nice. It's compliant with Apple, Samsung Pay, and all that kind of stuff too. Some additional services that we do 401k plans, like I mentioned. We can start one up and take it over. We broker workers' compensation plans, so we can integrate that fully with your payroll. So we work with pretty much all the major carriers out there. Some of them we can BOR, which means we can just take over a workers' compensation policy at any time. And then there's select partners and carriers out there that we would just do on a renewal basis. So no matter who you're using as the carrier, we can just broker it and we can plug it into our Workforce Now technology. We offer a pay-by-pay feature. So whoever you're using right now, you might pay a deposit at the start of the year or then have to pay a fee at the end of the year based on your actual employee counts. With our pay-by-pay feature, you just pay your premium on a biweekly basis based on your exact employee count so that ADP produces a report for. So you're not paying that big lump sum up front. You're not paying, a big audit at the end of the year. We make sure you're just paying your workers' compensation premium based on that exact employee count. And since we work with all the major carriers out there, we can help you shop a great rate. So if there is a carrier that you specifically like, we can work with that. And if you just want to shop whatever one's cheaper, we can help you with that too. I talked about work opportunity tax credits a little bit. That's something we can look into if anyone's interested. Then kind of our next two levels of services, we have comprehensive services. And then in this product, you get all of the technology that I previously have been talking about, plus you get people. So you get pretty much a full-time HR SHRM certified HR professional that consults for your business. So if you need help doing ACA, you need help doing all the COVID-19 related legislation out there, you'll have a full-time ADP person that does it for you. You can direct employees to talk to them if they have HR questions. They can help you do employee handbook. They can help you draft up any policies, anything you want to do, you have a full-time person. So if you recently had turnover where you might have lost an HR director, you might have lost, a VP of HR, getting our comprehensive services product for, 6 months or longer might be a good way to fill in the gap there without having to hire somebody. Then kind of the next level is our Total Source. Total Source is ADP's PEO. We're one of the only certified PEOs that you can get. A lot of the other companies out there that have a PEO kind of claim it as a PEO, but it's not technically certified. Ours is. So what you get with Total Source is you get the full comprehensive services suite we talked about. You get all the technology that we talked about, but then you also get our workers' compensation that is being bought into by 700,000 people. So it's the buying power of a Fortune 500 company. And then you also get the benefits of a Fortune 500 company. You get the buying power of everyone buying into the same healthcare plan. So you get to provide your employees with these, best-in-class benefits, even if you're only a 50-employee company. So that's something we can absolutely put you through a process and look into, and we can quote you on that. And that's becoming more and more popular this day and age. So I'll quickly run through our PMA partnership specifics. You get a 30% discount on all of our Workforce Now solutions. That's payroll, HR, ACA, all the stuff I kind of talked about previously. No matter what you buy or no matter what you get with us, it's a $0 implementation. So sometimes these implementations can run up to, $10,000, $15,000. So it's a really great perk that you're going to pay $0 to implement no matter what. Half off end of year W-2s. That puts the W-2s at around I think around $4 a piece, which is pretty competitive out there in the market. I think they're normally close to 9. I mentioned the free Wisely pay cards, and then also you get myself and Jackie as your dedicated sales rep. So no matter what anyone needs, no matter where you're located in the country, we manage this partnership. So you're always going to be directed to me. The next slide, I'll give you my cell phone number, my email address. So if anyone has a question, if you're a current ADP client and you want to look into all the different things that we have to offer, you know, the free pay cards, the WOTC credits, 401k, workers' compensation, whatever you might want to look into, more than happy to help you out there. If you're using someone else and you want to get a quote to see if switching to ADP makes sense, or just using any of our standalone products like the 401k, like pay cards, you can do that even if you're not an ADP client. So if you're just interested in one or the other, more than happy to help you there too. We just signed this partnership with PMA right after COVID. So I will say that to our current clients that we had during COVID, I think you probably all agree, it was really beneficial to have ADP. We kept you up to date on the legislative changes going on. We made pre-made reports to help you apply for the PPP loans. So I think anyone who had ADP was probably pretty thankful that they had them, rather than maybe doing payroll in-house and you weren't really sure how to apply for the PPP loan. You weren't sure how to request reimbursement. So just having a partner like ADP can really go a long way. So my contact info is right here. If anyone has questions or if anyone wants to have a conversation, more than happy to help. I appreciate you all jumping on.